Hey there guys, and welcome back to NIMBY Rails. Before we get fully into it today, I can't remember if last time I'd already set up the East Midlands services, but they're in now. They've actually got the right trains this time, because at one point they didn't have the 125 in properly. Although this might now be wrong. At the time of this video going out, the East Midlands may have already withdrawn their 125s, so who knows. Also, someone in the comments has asked, is the route profitable? Or is the entire map profitable? I don't know, is the answer. I'll show you my accounting graph. Basically, I've not run the game for a full day without building any route, track, or buying any trains since pretty much episode 2. So it's basically the time it went into unlimited money. So I've tried to work it out from this graph, and by the looks of it, fares definitely outweigh refunds and compensation. That much is certain. I probably made about $19,000 so far, and this is a Sunday, so it's going to be a bit lower. But obviously I've lost 3 billion overall because I spent 4.5 billion on trains. So make up your own mind whether it's profitable or not. It looks like it is to me. The other thing I've done as of the beginning of Sunday is I've increased the passenger demand factor from 25 to 50% because I noticed that stations that used to be full, Waterloo is a prime example. Back when I built London Waterloo, for a long time it was at capacity. It had 10,000 passengers in it all the time. And now it's down to, I mean, we're in peak hours, although it is a Sunday, it's down to less than 1,000. So I upped the passenger demand a bit. I don't want to go above 50 at the moment because I don't think the current service, especially the sort of like 3 a day services, are capable of handling it. I don't know how full this train is, but yeah, it's got 78 people on it. Bear in mind there's only like 4-5 trains a day that actually do the middle section of the Heart of Wales line. And because I spread them out across the entire 24-hour period rather than the sort of 18 hours they'd actually be operating across, that becomes problematic. The other thing I've done is go around and check some of the busier stations. So Brighton had a big traffic jam at one point. This connecting line round didn't exist, so everything came onto the main line and then switched off again to get into the rightmost platforms. And that bottleneck had actually clogged up and it wasn't moving anywhere. And that had probably been like that for quite a while in game. Cardiff wasn't the same issue. It was the trains stacking up behind each other, which they still do to an extent, but I had like 10 trains in a queue at one point waiting for Cardiff. And that was because we had one service trying to terminate in this platform as well. So I've added in a load of extra platforms just to try and keep terminating services separate from each other, which I think is working. I've not seen any bottlenecks since then. I think those were the only 2 stations I noticed big issues with. Presumably Lewisham is actually doing quite well, yeah. It's weird because South Eastern always seems really empty to me. I get that it is. South Eastern was one of the biggest companies. They had one of the biggest decreases in their timetable for COVID, so that might be why. Anyway, today my plan is to build Lincoln and, well, I'd written in my notes Lincoln and Skegness, but actually Skegness does not come out of Lincoln, it comes out of Sleaford. So we'll see how much I get done, but we'll start with Lincoln. Zooming in, it's like here I think, by the looks of it. It's a little complicated to build because it's meant to be 4 tracks down the middle, 2 express and 2 platforms. So I'm just going to ignore the express ones, I think. Then there's some terminating ones on this side, and then there's another extra platform on this side, although let's face it, it's going to be 2 because I can't get around it. We'll change the name. Maps appear to be undecided between Lincoln and Lincoln Central, but we'll just go with Lincoln. It's the only one in the town, so I think it's a town. I believe Lincoln's a town. not 100% on that. Come out like that and try and get across this river, which isn't going to be easy. There we go, that'll do. I don't really know where it goes up here. It's sort of, okay, it bends in this direction, and technically it becomes 4 tracks with what appear to be goods loops on the outside. I'm not going to bother with those. But it continues down here. Yeah, continues along here and up. And up again. And then I don't know then. Oh, it goes alongside the river. Okay. Well, that says we're putting an awkward diagonal viaduct in. Goes along here. We'll leave it at that for now. There used to be a curve off here, but that seems to be removed. However, there is a curve off here. I'm not happy with that. That comes down sort of like this. There we go, that's better. And we'll bring this down and along. And obviously there's this curve to come round, and this is the one that's actually used by services. So there we go. So I do a bit as I build out back towards the East Coast Main Line. Do a bit of what's in the news this week. Actually, am I building out towards the East Coast Main Line? I've not built the East Coast Main Line this far north. There's not really a lot of point in that. Okay, we'll build south towards Sleaford instead. A bit of what's in the news this week. At time of recording, it's early Monday morning after a weekend of problems with high-speed services across the UK. Basically the Class 800s that have been introduced across the network on GWR high-speed services and LNER and Hull trains, and I think TPE have some TransPennine. After some cracks were found in part of some of the GWR ones, all of them were removed from service temporarily. So that has meant quite widespread disruption across the country. I think a lot of them are back in now. I know Hull trains and TransPennine got theirs back in on the Saturday, later that day. And LNER are back up and running this morning. I think they only had 6 they had to keep out of service. The rest are in, so they're doing okay. They're running most of a service. GWR have 5 of their 93 available currently. I've put that track in the complete wrong place. It's what I've done. I'm trying to work out where I've gone wrong here. It's because this junction is wrong. It needs to be back here. Okay. Yes, so as I was saying, GWR are having some issues. So it's basically impossible to get to the West Country at the moment from London, just because there's no long distance services running. I think currently a move towards Cornwall, you have to get a service to Reading. I think it's a stopping service to Reading as well, at that matter, out of Paddington. Then a express service operated by the 5 Class 800s they do have, heading towards South Wales. It's only going as far as Newport, but you need to use that as far as Swindon. And then a temporary service provided by Cross Country to get to Bristol, and then switch back onto GWR's local services to get into Cornwall, or even Devon. So it's quite a mess. I think Newbury just, or that line, the line between Reading and Westbury, is just getting 0 services. So it's not going well for them. I'm give them that much. I don't know where this line is going, this one that I'm building off here. Which one is this? Oh, it's the line up to Grimsby and Cleethorpes. Well, we'll leave that. Meanwhile, heading south, Metheringham. So yeah, if there's one time I'm quite glad to not be riding the trains, this is it. This is not the time to be trying to get anywhere. I pressed the wrong buttons entirely there. I wasn't even aware there was a keybind for zooming in. Apparently there is. Now I know. Metheringham, Ruskington, and the last station. Well, it's just Sleaford. That's an awkward station. It looks like it's two platforms with an avoiding track around the outside of one of the platforms. So I'll just put the platforms. Presumably a goods loop of some description. Yeah, that's not what I wanted, is it, game? Always thinks it's so smart. The Kesteven and Sleaford High School Selective Academy? Or just Sleaford, alternatively. There we go. Right, let's go back up to Lincoln and get the track and continue building down. Along we go. Somewhere. Up there. That's where we go. Come through this nice gap, across the road, and then we've now got a line to follow. So that's nice of OpenStreetMap's data. That's a nice place to be crossing, isn't it? I think it goes into a tunnel by the looks. Tunnel under the crossroads, and continue down. Down we go. We should get there pretty quickly. There's quite a distance between the stations, but I'm building the track in quite long sections as well, so it shouldn't take too long. Continuing down, and I'll be honest, it's actually a bit further than I thought it was. I might have to time lapse this or jump cut it, because there's not a lot going on. There we go, Metheringham. Yeah, I think I'll jump cut until I'm built down to near Sleaford, at least. Okay, I've made it to just outside Sleaford. Sleaford actually gets a little complicated because it's got a avoiding line just across the town, perpendicular to the station. It's a little weird. So this is the main line that trains actually operate along because they have to get to the station typically. I'll admit I've never been to this part of the country, but I'm pretty certain every service stops at Sleaford. So they'd all come down here and into the station. There's also a line out here, which I think is the one that heads back to the main line, out this way, to Grantham, or Grantham, or however it's pronounced. Then there's this line out of Sleaford, which is technically single track, heading towards Skegness. Out in this general direction, and where it goes I don't know. Oh, it goes just along the top of this bit of water, and then across there and along the bottom of that one, I guess. That looks like a nice sensible place for it to go. But there's also this single track curve which joins back onto the avoiding line we left earlier. And I can only imagine that this single track section up to the station must be a mess to timetable trains along, when so many trains want to use it. Also, where on earth does this line go? Pretty certain it goes up there. This body of water is not... Oh, this is the removed track. I see. That's not ideal. Right, this is the section of track that no longer exists. The curve I need to build is my mistake. This bit of track, the other side of the body of water, which comes along here quite nicely and then sort of like heads straight by the looks of it. I can't really tell. I think it sort of goes down there. And it connects up with the avoiding line, which sort of comes out here. Or not even there, but like here. This is really awkward to build. Right, there we go. And it viaducts the main line. Not main line, you know what I mean. This is technically counted as the main line on Open Railway maps. Viaduct that river because it's slightly too wide, and in. And then I move everything across so that it's actually in the right place, because the railway actually crosses here, and now I can't get across that. There we go. Okay, that seems to be fine. Now, I was going to build out to Skegness. That was the plan. There's a lot of stations. Okay. What I might do then is leave it here and potentially do Skegness in the next episode. So thanks for watching, like and subscribe if you enjoyed and you want more, and I'll catch you in the next one.